Good morning and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care, Santa Clarita Hearing Center, and Traditions Healthcare. I am Barbara Cochran with my co-host
Dr. Jean Dorio.
on your hometown station 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And our studio guest this morning is Dr. Ginny Veloz, who's the owner of one of our sponsors, Santa Clarita Hearing Center. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's nice to
Morning,
see you
Jenny. How are
again.
you?
No, it's always nice. Good.
It's fun. It's
Yeah,
fun.
It is.
Yes.
Always.
And since this is the senior hour, we're talking about hearing,
Yes,
which is critical to seniors.
that's right. It is.
It's a quality of life issue, isn't it?
Quality of life. It affects everything. Absolutely everything.
And of course, there are other factors that we have in life, like vision, wearing glasses, chewing, and dental work. But I will tell you I believe the main one that one needs to have to sustain their quality of life, but that we see more often than anything else, is a diminishing of hearing. And people don't know it, do they, Jenny? The clues are there, where family members or a spouse is saying, "Hey, why is the TV so loud?" Or get the telephone. It's ringing right now, and they obviously don't hear it. And the worst, of course, is if they're driving in their vehicle and they don't hear a siren close by.
It's scary.
So these are all quality of life issues for our seniors, but hearing is critical for us to be able to make it through these beautiful days. I know that Barbara loves to have cloudy, dreary, cold, just like where she was born. Right, Barb?
That's right. Absolutely and positively.
So tell us, Jenny, what are the kind of the warning signs that one starts to, the symptoms that one will start to have, or what the loved ones will start seeing in seniors that are a clue that, hey, there's a problem starting to take place?
Well, I think for the person themselves, they might notice their people start mumbling. People around them start mumbling. And gosh, if everyone would just speak clearly, speak up, look at me when they talk to me, that's certainly a sign. Ringing in the ears or some kind of buzzing or humming in the ears, that's a sign that there could be damage in the hearing. And for families, caregivers, like you said, the TV's up very loud. You start to see some isolation. It's I don't really want to go out with the other couples tonight because that restaurant's so loud and I can't hear. So why don't we just stay home? It's that isolation that begins that, and then of course comes the depression and then the medications, and it's just so many things stem from hearing loss that's left untreated. And there's solutions. There's really good solutions available, so we don't really have to get to that point.
Yeah, and one of the diagnoses that I constantly see are family members saying, "Oh, my loved one has dementia. They're starting to have memory problems." And indeed, in some cases, that is true. But many a times it's related to their sensories not being up to par like they used to be. And especially with hearing, when they're watching television, but they've lost track of it, they don't get the crux of a conversation at a restaurant or even at home. And sometimes, because they didn't hear something, family members will think, oh, they just didn't remember it. but it's not that. They just didn't hear it. So it plays a huge role in a misdiagnosis that one might start believing their loved one is going through, where indeed it's something else, and sometimes a lot simpler and a lot less impacting on the person's life, a total life.
Yeah, I find it interesting, the compensation we do. I get a lot of patients that come in and they say, I really have trouble understanding on the TV, but my son came over and turned the words on the bottom, and now I do
Hmm.
much better. And it's
Hmm.
like, well,
Oh, wait a minute.
that's, certainly helpful, but we're putting a band-aid on the problem.
Mhm.
I know my dad had hearing loss, um, mostly from chemotherapy, and he also had something called a glomus jugularis, which is a growth on his jugular vein, and it caused hearing loss. But when we would go to a restaurant and the waitress would come over and ask him, he'd order a salad, like a side salad, and she'd go, in her little squeaky boo voice, and she'd say, "What kind of dressing would you like?" He wouldn't even hear that, and my mom would say, "He
Hmm.
wants ranch." So I
Hmm.
feel like sometimes we, enable the behavior. And I know it's hard to get somebody to come in to have a hearing test, but you got to keep at it. You're going to help that loved one immensely if they can come in and face it, and all the time it's like, God, that was so easy, that was painless.
Hmm.
It's, okay, let's do something. I want to hear all the
You,
time.
yeah, you know what's interesting? Men, I think, are the least, the ones who don't want to admit that they have a
What was that,
hearing
Barbara?
loss.
What was that, Barbara?
You didn't hear that, Dr.
I don't know if
Dorio?
I don't know. I don't know if I heard that right.
Yes, you did. And you know what I'm talking about. But
I didn't hear that.
oh, you didn't. Oh, would you like me to tell you again?
Turn up your
A
radio.
little louder.
Get closer to the phone, will
Yeah.
you? But that's been my experience in the families that I have known over the years.
Yeah.
That the man in the family is the one least able to admit that, wait a minute, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. And I remember Russ always said to me, "What did you say? What
Mm.
did you say? I didn't hear you."
Mhm.
Or, "You want to turn the TV up?" And I'm thinking, something's not right here.
And if you would speak up, if you would look at me when you speak to me, if you would stop mumbling, see, we're asking other people to make compensation for us
Hmm.
when that's really not fair. And I think that, with the idea that men are more hesitant, I feel like women just seem to, if there's a problem, they have to take care of it. They've
Yes.
got responsibilities, they've got to do what they've got to do, and they just seem to take the step first. I,
Hmm.
you know,
Well, that's what I did with Russ. I said to him, I suggested to him, um, do you think maybe you need to see a specialist? Maybe you have an abundance of wax in your ears.
hmm
And I think sometimes that is the case
it sure is.
when you have a hearing loss. And finally, I persuaded him to go. And once the doctor told him, yes, you do have a problem, and
Mm-hmm.
let's go about resolving the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And
All right.
once he got hearing aids, I, all the difference in the world. It was unbelievable.
All the difference in the world.
Yes.
It
Yep.
can be life changing.
Oh my
Absolutely.
goodness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the TV didn't have to go blaring all over the house,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he very seldom said to me, "What did you say? What did you say?"
Mm-hmm.
Because he could hear me when I was walking away from him and talking.
Mm-hmm. Which he
And
should.
yes,
Which he should.
and it was absolutely amazing. And I could always tell when one of the batteries was dying. Oh,
Yeah. You know, Helen Keller, of course, who was had no her vision was gone and her hearing was gone. She was asked once if she could get one of her senses back, which would she choose? And without hesitation, she said her hearing, which really surprised me, right? But she said in her experience, her vision connected her to things and her hearing connected her to people.
Wow.
And there was just no question about it. It was that important. She would take her hearing.
absolutely. My daughter and one of my granddaughters are both interpreters for the deaf,
Mm-hmm.
and it was especially hard during this shutdown. They couldn't see their students in classroom, and they had to look at them on TV,
Oh,
from
yeah.
a computer, and you had to wear your mask, and it was unbelievably frustrating.
The masks have been so
Oh,
difficult.
they have, especially for the hard of hearing,
Yes.
because so many of the hard of hearing can read lips,
Hmm.
Yeah.
which is a big, big
We
difference.
actually all read lips,
Yes, that's true.
and
That's true.
we just, when we can't hear, when we can't understand, we rely on it. For me, when I get into a noisy environment, I'm done. You'd think I had a severe hearing loss. I just, I have problems with my auditory processing, which means everything comes in at the same level. The talking, the noise, the baby cry, everything. And I just can't distinguish. I can't filter. I've been like that my whole life. Um, I rely on looking at you in a noisy environment. I have to have that. And the masks have been really difficult. And I find myself saying, I don't want to go out to a restaurant. It's very interesting what this impact of COVID. I think the lingering effects will be there for a very long time.
Yes, I would agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
would agree. Now, in Palmdale, they're having kids come back into the
Mm-hmm.
classroom,
Mm-hmm.
but they're doing it in sections,
Mm-hmm.
a morning and an afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And they're having a limited number of students come in,
Mm-hmm.
and for a shorter period of time. But it's been so much easier and so less frustrating for my daughter and my granddaughter.
And I would bet the kids too.
Yes, the kids, especially the
When you're in a
kids,
class of 20 as opposed to 40, that I
makes
would
a big
imagine it
difference.
would make a big difference.
Big difference. And she said there's usually 6 or 7 of them in each section,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And she she said it's so less frustrating because having to do it on the computer
Oh
would
gosh,
would
yeah.
drive everybody nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Sure.
But they had no choice, you know.
Hmm.
And thank goodness this mess is beginning to clear up.
Yeah, I have a lot of admiration for the teachers who they've had to learn Zoom, they've had to learn, how to teach over the internet. They've had to It's just been such a huge change for them,
Yes.
and they have stepped up and they've given the kids, in my opinion, they've given the kids, the most that they could have during this last year.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
But the kids are they're so happy to be able to go back to
Hmm.
school.
I know.
I mean, it's amazing. You'd think, kids at school, ugh. But they're so eager
Mm-hmm.
because they want to interact. They want to see their buddies
Mm-hmm.
and play. And that was, in my opinion, one of the most severe problems
Mm-hmm.
with having younger children at home. It's a little bit
Yeah.
different when you're in getting into your teenage years. You can handle the stress a little bit because you've been through it,
Mm-hmm.
growing up, being tiny. But these young kids, 5 and 6 years old, how frustrating. I mean, it was frustrating for me. I took up my time doing jigsaw puzzles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dozens of them.
Cool. So in my generation, people would go to concerts and get their ears blasted out. And we're seeing the ramifications of those baby boomers now who are struggling with their hearing. But I do wonder, I see a lot of people with the, I think they're called ear pods or something. And they, they're walking around and, they either on the telephone or they're listening to music. Do you think, Jenny, that might have the same negative impact on hearing for those kids who are doing that right now?
Oh, certainly, without a doubt. We started seeing the effects after the Walkman came out. When we had our music in our headphones, it's a matter of, two things. It's not just the volume of the music you're listening to or whatever it is you're listening to. It's the amount of time that you're listening to it. The longer you listen and the closer the sound source is to your ear, the more damage that's going to be done. And that's just the physics of sound. And with the ear pods going into the ear, you're getting closer and closer to the eardrum. The sound is just amplified more. And I'm sure, if you've ever been wearing a headset and you push into your ear and you go, wow, I hear so much better. Well, that's because you're getting closer in and you're also connecting to the bone, around, which amplifies sound as well. So all of that is going to cause more damage. And that's not to say that if you're listening to a stereo in a car and it's booming really loud, that's not going to damage your ears because it's not close to you. That's not true. Obviously, that is still a very, very loud sound. There will be hearing loss, guaranteed. There's no way to go around it. And those people will be coming to see me sooner rather than later. I'm getting a lot more people in their 50s, 40s. It used to be that 80s was about about where people were when I first started doing this, which was 20-something years ago. But now, gosh, that age point has dropped considerably. I'm seeing a lot more. And that has to do with the amount of noise that we have around us, but it also has to do with the technology of the devices we have today where we can fit people better. We can fit people with a more mild loss that are just starting to have the impact of hearing loss. And that's important because when we catch it early, we can hold on to what we've got and not get into those real severe losses, which are much harder to fit, harder to deal with because we start to lose our clarity of the words. And I can always give more volume, but clarity is a whole nother thing.
That's very true. And we need to take a break, and we'll be back in a few moments. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS.
Celebrate the new year with the Canyon Theater Guild's new spring online youth workshops. Express yourself from the comfort of your own home with super fun classes like improv, script writing, audition techniques, and 2 brand new shows specifically designed for online performances. No borders, no experience necessary, and no end to the fun. Call 661-799-2702 or visit us at canyontheater.org.
Aloha, friends! Go check out Honu Coffee, home of the best cold brew coffee. What makes their coffee special is how their organic coffee beans are infused with nitrogen to create a smooth and delicious cup of coffee. You'll also find traditional bold coffees and island-inspired signature drinks. They're the perfect place to catch up with friends or just relax with your favorite cup of joe. Honu Coffee on Lyons and Walnut in Newhall. Stop by and say aloha.
And now for your convenience, a second Honu location at 23502 Lyons Avenue between Peachland and Apple.
Drive-through Taste of the Town coming Sunday, May 2nd from noon to 4 at Child and Family Center. Each ticket offers a choice of gift cards to the 22 participating restaurants. Come and support your favorite eatery or choose a place that you've been meaning to try. Guests receive a deluxe gift bag, enjoy live music, an online auction, a photo op, and more. Proceeds benefit the Child and Family Center. Enjoy a taste of the town like no other before. Details at tasteofthetown.com.
If you're in danger of losing your home to foreclosure, you need an expert. Hi, I'm Rich Sherman with Alta Realty. I've helped hundreds of Santa Clarita residents save their homes completely for free. I've got just over 20 years experience and a loan modification success rate of over 80%. I can negotiate better terms with your bank and I can save your home from foreclosure. And again, we do this completely for free. So if you're in any danger, please call me today at 661-714-1400. That number again is 661-714-1400. I'm Rich Sherman with Alta Realty, and I'll be happy to help you save your home for free.
If you're in need of physical therapy, check out Focus Physical Therapy. Owner and therapist Adam Laraway has the latest in cutting-edge technology, introducing the Newbie, the ultimate in neuromuscular re-education. The Newbie can help you heal up to 70% faster and was FDA cleared in September 2017. The Newbie uses pulse direct current, which mimics the same neurological signals the brain uses and allows the therapist to identify those signals with 100% accuracy. Newbie can even help improve your sleep while tackling issues with neck, knee, and shoulder pain, sciatica, and arthritis. It can accelerate your fitness progress, which means better results in less sessions. Get stronger quicker. Why not use the same technology that the Dodgers and the LA Clippers use? Focus PT, located on Peachland off Lyons in Newhall. Call 255-4205. Go online at focusphysicaltherapyscv.com.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. And we're speaking with Dr. Ginny Veloz, who is one of our sponsors at the Santa Clarita Hearing Center. And one of the things I wanted, when you say pods, are those black things with the stick?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they call a pod?
An AirPod, yeah.
An AirPod.
Yeah. The little ones that don't have the... Yeah.
That don't have the strings hanging
Mm-hmm.
all around.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, when they're that close to the ear,
Mm-hmm.
the noise must be incredible.
Well, the sound quality is very good.
It is?
It's the sound,
Oh, yeah.
Listening to the music. It's pretty good. And my husband just got a pair, and the noise canceling is amazing. So you put them in, and it's almost like you're in a quiet room all of a sudden. And then
Noise canceling?
Yeah, so the noise around you, if you're in walking down the street, the noise of the cars and it just
Really?
drops down like you've gone into a bubble, and then the music just sounds really good. So, it can be very tempting to turn those up
Yes.
and really listen to that fidelity of the music, which you got to be careful of. If you're going to turn the volume up, you got to limit the time that you're listening, because too much volume over too long a period will create a permanent hearing loss.
That's true. And also, when I've been driving in my car, from maybe a block away, I can hear this blaring music, and the car comes up beside me, and holy Hannah,
Yeah.
it deafens me.
Yeah.
And I've tried many times to get their attention, turn it down. You're going to harm your hearing, but if I did, they'd say, "You don't know what you're talking about." You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. We were probably all told that, but, live and learn, right? But what we have today are musicians who, I believe it's called Hear the World, and they are teaching new young musicians to protect your ears, because they have a lot of hearing loss, those guys, and there's a big movement out to help the younger ones use the ear monitors, protect, keep control of the sound, things like that, which is fantastic.
Well, it's interesting. It wouldn't surprise me if Russ's hearing loss began when he used to play the violin in a symphony orchestra. He
Of
did that
course.
for many, many years. And now that you mentioned it, talking about musicians, I bet you that's when his hearing loss began,
Of course.
you know,
Sure.
Well,
when he was in his
okay,
20s
so
and 30s.
And he's got the
so
violin, right?
Barbara,
Yes.
I played the violin for 12 years in an orchestra, and fortunately, just violinists were around us, not the tuba or the trombone. So we didn't get the blaring sound in our area of the orchestra. But true, I think most people I see were military people, and they got exposed, and we have now found that the hearing protectors that they used were not adequate, and so a lot of veterans are facing now hearing loss. But I was going to mention with the ear pods, and you had talked about it before, the noise canceling. It's kind of dangerous, if you're, because like when you're walking down the street, you're getting cues from not just the signals, red light, green light, crosswalks, and people around you, but it's the sound of the vehicles. I found that the electric cars, sometimes you don't hear them. You hear the tires on the ground, but you don't quite hear them like you hear an engine car. So that gets a little bit dangerous if we're not careful as we start readjusting and making things better for ourselves. And this whole pandemic that we talked about earlier, one of the things that kids did use, because they were in family situations at home, they had to use earphones and ear pods to listen to their own computer. So a lot of times I think some hearing loss in the future is going to come from this pandemic because of kids overexposing themselves to the hearing problem. So it's across the board. I think that from the loud music of my generation to the pandemic and the ear pods of the now generation, this exposure is going to have profound effects on hearing. And that's why it's so important for people not to wait for cues to happen and symptoms to develop. It's, get a check. I mean, as you guys mentioned, it could be just wax, and that's it. And that's a simple thing to take care of. But indeed, you should have a baseline hearing test to determine whether things are okay or not. And so this is a time to be aware of it, and at some point a time to do it. So I think that, and if you could help describe, Jenny, what does it take to, how difficult is it to do a hearing test?
Well, you're going to come into my office, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look in your ears, very first thing, check for wax. If there's wax, I'll take it out. If there's not wax, we'll move on with the hearing test. And I just put some headphones into your ears, and I present tones, and you let me know when you hear them, and they are very soft. Things don't get very loud. And then I have you repeat some words, a few more beeps, and we're done.
It's very quick.
Yeah, it's very easy, and a lot of people, that's why I was saying I do hear like, wow, that was painless. That's like, was no big deal. I thought it would be more difficult. And there's certainly other tests that we can do, if we need to. But all in all, after that, it, could take about, 15 minutes. I'm going to have some answers, and we can sit down and talk about it. And it might just be me telling you, keep doing what you're doing. Protect your ears. And, if you're going to be working out, with the, wood cutting stuff, you put the glasses on your eyes to protect the dust and stuff from going in your eyes. And then you put the headphones on, to protect your ears. That's all you need to do. Or it might be a conversation of, this is the issues that you came to me saying that you had. Here's the solution, and it might be hearing aids. It might be a device to help you hear on the TV better. It's the answer's not always hearing aids. So I don't want
Right.
people to think that just because they make an appointment and come in, that that's automatically going to be the diagnosis. Because
Right.
sometimes it's not.
You know what's
You know,
interesting?
I,
You were talking, Gene, about veterans a little while ago, and I remember growing up in England during the war, the extremely noisy take cover sirens. I mean, they were like the police sirens when they get close to you or the whatever, but and the noise of the bombs exploding once they hit the ground. And it's amazing that I didn't have a hearing loss. It's absolutely amazing now that I think about it, because those noises were incredible. You know, of course, along with the fright, and
Yeah.
the fear of if it's going to get you. You know.
Yeah, I work with veterans almost every day, and in one way or another. And when I hear them talk about these mortars and the
Yes.
explosions and how they shoot these big weapons, and it just shakes your whole body, it just makes me, ugh. I mean,
Yeah, but some of them have been around actual bombs.
yes.
I mean, the real thing. I know when I was a little
Yeah.
girl during the war, we'd see this buzz bomb. It was a rocket, and it came from Germany, and the flames would come out of the back, and you'd hear this buzz. When the buzzing stopped and the fire stopped, it started coming down, and you never ever knew where or when it was going to hit. It was just amazing.
Terrifying.
Amazing.
mm,
I know when as a little girl, the siren sounded and we had to go into the underground railway. That was the safest place where I lived. And after everything was over and the all clear sounded, we all went home. And home, half of our home was gone. My brother's, my baby brother's crib was hanging over the edge.
Wow.
That's what happened. It hit that
scary.
hit that house and bang. It was a two-story, and half of it was taken off. It was amazing, absolutely amazing.
Wow. Well, we call this the senior hour, but we also, across the board now, Jenny, isn't it really a problem of hearing loss that we're going to see more and more? And I do think the pandemic will have contributed to it. The earpods will contribute to it. So it might be the senior hour, but it's also the senior high school hour, because sometimes kids are going to be affected. So if you notice that your child is not excelling, you don't. I think one of the things is, they're other than putting them on drugs, just have a hearing test just in case, because you
Yeah.
never know. Vision is important, and hearing is important, and as opposed to jumping to conclusions, that's, as you described, how simple and time effective a hearing test is. This is good to have in any community, and you are doing this and providing the service to the senior hour people and the senior high school people, because that will allow everybody to have the quality of life that we have here in Santa Clarita.
Absolutely. And yes, it's senior hour, but if you're seeing your grandkids not talking and they're, 3 and 4 years old, they need a hearing test. If there's poor pronunciation, kids that get ear infections over and over and over again, they're learning to talk the way they hear, which is kind of like this. So everything sounds very muffled. They're not
Muffled.
producing their words correctly. And I have seen through my career several children who have been put in special ed labeled as developmentally delayed, mentally delayed. God, they had hearing loss. We put hearing aids on them, and boom, they come alive and get reassimilated after time. So it can affect anybody. It can affect anybody at any age. So when somebody says to me, I'm too young to wear hearing aids, I have fit the youngest I fit was two years old, but they're fitting hearing aids on infants because, of course, now we have the newborn hearing screening program where all babies born are screened for hearing loss. And if the hearing loss is found, they put hearing aids on them right away within a month, 2 months. And they're just growing up. They're not any different. They're on par with all their developmental milestones. They're in school and they're assimilated in regular classes and excelling. It's really amazing to see because it's not the way it's always been for hearing impaired children.
Isn't that interesting?
Right. So that's why we just want people to remember there are many reasons for hearing loss. And we just don't want them to forget that contributions by a hearing loss problem affects all of our lives. And, as we're older, we're labeled as demented. But when we're younger, we're held back in school or put into special schools or, in places where, it's more difficult for them to assimilate. So, we just have to put out there to not just our senior audience, but to the Santa Clarita audience that, hearing loss is probably goes a lot deeper than we think. And so just to have that awareness, Jenny, in what you do and how you're doing it and bringing it to this community, I think is really important.
Thank you. I think it is too. And I love what I do. I love what I do every day. I'm so grateful to be able to do this. And I love being in Santa Clarita.
Oh, yes.
It's been the best. So, what more could I ask for? It's been fantastic.
Well, providing a service, but also making a difference in individuals' lives, moving them forward and allowing them to get an education and do better in the community and flourish. Those are the things that, when you go home and, you're eating dinner and getting ready to sleep, you think about that contribution you have made to the people around you. So thank you for doing what you do. We appreciate it.
I love it.
Well, the other thing, too, and hearing aids are not monsters that you put on your head. I mean, they're not like, the ear things we have on now. But for younger kids who might be losing their hearing, and they say, hearing aid? Everybody's going to know I'm hard of hearing. But they have them now that just you barely even know that there's then anything there.
It's all psychological because the same people who say they can't wear a hearing aid because it will make them look old or it will make them look less than because people will know, they're the ones wearing the big Bluetooth on their ear with the big blue light flashing and the big earphones hanging out of their ears. So it really is less about what it looks like. But yes, hearing aids do come extremely small, extremely discreet. They do have Bluetooth technology, so you can hear through both ears. You can stream your music, you can stream your phone calls, your television, whatever is important to you through them. There's so many really cool things that come with the new hearing aids. Number one importance, the sound quality is amazing, and they're improving hearing and background noise all the time.
That's terrific. We'll continue this. We have to take a break. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS.
Drive-through Taste of the Town coming Sunday, May 2nd from noon to 4 at Child and Family Center. Each ticket offers a choice of gift cards to the 22 participating restaurants. Come and support your favorite eatery or choose a place that you've been meaning to try. Guests receive a deluxe gift bag, enjoy live music, an online auction, a photo op, and more. Proceeds benefit the Child and Family Center. Enjoy a taste of the town like no other before. Details at tasteofthetown.com.
Fruit arranged like flowers? What a delicious idea! Edible Arrangements specializes in creating a variety of fresh fruit arrangements overflowing with fresh, hand-designed fruit and filled with strawberries, pineapple, grapes, cantaloupe, honeydew, and seasonal favorites. Made to order in a size you select and ready to eat and enjoy. You can even add chocolate to any arrangement. Edible Arrangements is always fresh, always appropriate, and always appreciated. Order yours today, 253-0052 or ediblearrangements.com. Edible Arrangements is on Soledad near Bouquet Canyon.
Have you heard that you can attend college tuition-free for your first 2 years?
The Canyons Promise program at College of the Canyons can make that happen.
First-time, full-time students in fall 2021 are encouraged to sign up now for Canyons Promise.
Benefits include paid enrollment fees, access to program counselors, priority registration, and more.
Attend COC tuition-free.
Visit canyons.edu/promise now for information and important deadlines.
Canyons.edu/promise.
Loss of hearing can affect the quality of life. Santa Clarita Hearing Center can help. They specialize in both preventative hearing loss and corrective measures, including diagnostic tests, new technology hearing aids, cochlear implants, hearing protection, and tinnitus treatment. They can adjust your current hearing aids or fit you for new ones. Santa Clarita Hearing Center also offers sleep molds, swim molds, and musician monitors. Book an appointment today. Log on to SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com, located on McBean Parkway next to the hospital. That's SantaClaritaHearingCenter.com.
If you're in need of physical therapy, check out Focus Physical Therapy. Owner and therapist Adam Laraway has the latest in cutting-edge technology, introducing the Newbie, the ultimate in neuromuscular re-education. The Newbie can help you heal up to 70% faster and was FDA cleared in September 2017. The Newbie uses pulse direct current, which mimics the same neurological signals the brain uses and allows the therapist to identify those signals with 100% accuracy. Newbie can even help improve your sleep while tackling issues with neck, knee, and shoulder pain, sciatica, and arthritis. It can accelerate your fitness progress, which means better results in less sessions. Get stronger quicker. Why not use the same technology that the Dodgers and the LA Clippers use? Focus PT, located on Peachland off Lyons in Newhall. Call 255-4205. Go online at focusphysicaltherapyscv.com.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. And we're speaking with one of our co-sponsors, Santa Clarita Hearing Center, Dr. Ginny Veloz. Yes.
Yes.
And we talked briefly during the break, but let's talk about hearing aids.
Yeah, hearing aids. I'm going to challenge anybody who's concerned with how the hearing aids look and that people will see them and that they don't want to be seen. I'm going to challenge you to call my office, and I will have you come in for no other reason. I won't test your hearing unless you want it. I'm going to put a hearing aid on your ear that's not turned on, and I'm just going to let you see what it looks like and feel what it feels like. You are going to be extremely shocked because it is not what you think. It is whatever it is you're thinking what a hearing aid looks like, it's not that. They're very small. They're very discreet. For the most part, people won't even know you're wearing it. Of course, it depends on if you have, how much hair you have, but you don't need a lot. I'm telling you, just come in and say, call me, and I'll have you come in, and I just want you to see what it looks like and feels like on your ear, and you're going to be really, really, really surprised. They're very small, very discreet, but they do so much, and they can change your life. They can change your life.
Yeah, Jenny, if I don't need hearing aids right now, I don't think. But and maybe I will in the future. But I have no qualms about someone seeing, if I'm wearing a hearing aid. I don't care if people see it. I mean, to me, it's kind of even a status symbol to a certain degree. I mean, it says, "Hey, man, when I was young, I was rocking." It's pretty, and maybe people think, "Oh, yeah, you must be a veteran." But I think it's kind of cool. We had masks, and many masks have their own designs on it now, and I think they've been creative, and maybe we can, have a design hearing aid so people go, "Hey, that's pretty cool. Look at that, what you have on there, that artwork or something to identify who you are, and make it yourself." So I don't know. I know we've talked before about having a hearing aid that you don't see, but if you can't see it, it's kind of small, and if I have visual problems, I'm going to lose it. I'm afraid it's going to fall out in the bathtub or the shower.
Oh yeah.
So heck, give me a status symbol with a big hearing aid.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
When we fit children with hearing aids, they always come with these really cool stickers, these decals that you can put on the hearing aid, and you can change them for the different seasons. There's like cool spider webs for, or ghosts on them for Halloween. And there's, Santa Claus on Christmas. They're really fun, and the kids can choose what they want, and they can choose. For adults, I've recently been seeing, and I was recently contacted by a company that is sort of jeweling out the hearing aids, and they make them like, women wear earrings, so it connects it looks like a really cool chain that is hanging from your ear.
Cool.
And the kids are with the cochlear implants. They're bejeweling them, and they're having fun with it. So I would love for that to, ease its way down to the adults as well. Because my feeling is we wear glasses, and they come in cute frames, and you can pick and choose the style that you like and the colors that you like. And when people look at you, they know I know that you're wearing glasses, which means I know subconsciously I know you have vision issues. If nobody sees the hearing aid, then they may not know that you still would do better if they looked at you. I don't know. We keep making them smaller and smaller. My personal feeling is, why hide them? I'm like you, Dr. Dorio. Have fun with it. I would get purple personally.
There you go.
Yeah, I would get
I
a
get
color.
my green. The
Yeah.
color of my car. But it shouldn't be a stigma. It shouldn't be a stigma. It should be a status. And I just think that we need to start turning away from this kind of appearance, the fear of an appearance, and just say, hey, it's okay. It's okay to know we have some limitations now of life, whether we're young or older, and just